Bryan, hi, great to meet you, and
I,
congratulations on such an extraordinary, powerful film.
Thank you.
And of course, we're talking on the day when the US government is going public with this report. I wondered what your reaction was to that.
Well, there was a lot of discussion, obviously with COVID and theaters being closed, and we were initially planning to have the film come out much sooner, and I think our waiting is actually really helping in the timing, um, because with Biden now in office, had the film come out during the Trump administration, all that it would have done is further admonish him, but have no action. And I think the film being released now is not only going to put further pressure, but really kind of help the public and people understand what is reappearing back in the news, the findings of the intelligence report, and kind of bringing, what happened 2 years ago in this horrendous murder back into the fold.
So, what does this mean for Jamal's friends and supporters and his fiance as well?
I don't know exactly what it means. I think probably what this does is probably help to have a little more closure, and also help to think that there might be some possible sanctions and action taking. I mean, clearly Biden releasing this report is not only, firmly planting a flag that, he's not going to be bullied by Saudi Arabia, but it's also, at least in my mind, very clearly a resetting of U.S.-Saudi relations. I mean, the fact that he would do this, I mean, I think is setting the stage for other actions that he's planning to take to do his best to stop not only the war in Yemen, but these human rights abuses in Saudi Arabia, and I think hoping that other countries will follow him in this pursuit. So we'll see. Time's going to tell, but this is clearly kind of a day that I think a lot of people that care about this part of the world and this region have been hopeful for.
So, how aware were you of Jamal Khashoggi several years ago? Had you ever come across him before, or?
You know, Honestly, I think like so many, um, I I had heard the name. I hadn't read his work. I hadn't been following his story, or his writings in the Washington Post. But as this murder, captivated the world, and really illuminated what was a false narrative that had been coming forward from Saudi Arabia, and their propaganda machine as to this enlightened prince. My ears really perked up, and had Jamal not been writing for the Washington Post, and had he just been a Saudi journalist, um, this story would have not gained the traction that it did. But because it was a Washington Post journalist, um, the world took notice, and he transcended being Saudi, because in his murder, in many ways, he became American.
Whose idea was it to make the film? Was it something that you wanted to do, or did somebody approach you with the idea?
No, it was 100% me. Um, I was trying to figure out what my next project was going to be, and this crime happened, and it checked all the boxes that I was looking for as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, as an activist, as someone who wanted to continue to tell stories that I felt could have impact and could have resonance in the world. And, you know, coming through Icarus and that experience, you know, I felt, you know, I guess a burden in the sense that, you know, I couldn't go and just go do some silly scripted project or a biopic on someone, or, you know, I was really trying to find a story that I felt would have, you know, some real meaning and could follow in the footsteps of my previous work with Icarus. And in the murder of Jamal, you know, that story was present and there. And I then, you know, spent the next several months building the relationships and the trust needed to be able to tell the story, not as a piece of archival news or not as in the format of a, you know, documentary, you know, filmmaking, but as a real world first person journey. And Hatice Cengiz and Omar Abdulaziz and the participation of the Turkish government, for me, in my mind, were pivotal to be able to do that.
So how easy was it to get access to the people that you needed to speak to? I mean, certainly, you know, building that trust, as you say.
You know, it wasn't easy. My first meeting with Hatice came probably about 5 weeks after Jamal's murder. She was under incredible strain and pressure at the time. Global media, you know, hounding her. And you know, and I had reached out to her. She invited me, you know, to Istanbul, if you know, just to talk. And you know, and I went. And, you know, over the next 5 weeks, we didn't film. We just would meet, you know, every other day and kind of grieve. And I kept telling her, look, if you let me into your life and you allow me to do this, I promise you I'm going to do everything I can to protect you, to protect Jamal, to honestly tell your story, and let the world understand, you know, what happened here and the impact that this had on you and why people should care. And you know, and we began filming in February of 2019, and spent, you know, the next year traveling all over the world together as she fought for justice, you know, for Jamal. You know, it was a similar situation with Omar Abdulaziz, and the trust building that came from there, and with the Turkish government. It was months and months. I mean, I spent almost all of 2019 in Istanbul or in Montreal, of the Turkish government understanding and trusting, because it's really all about trust, that I was not there to disparage Turkey. I was not going to disparage Turkey. I was there to tell the story of Jamal's murder as honestly as I could. And without their help, that was going to be difficult. And they understood that, and essentially chose me as their, you know, partner in that, in bringing forward evidence, uh, video footage, photography, the transcript, so many things that are in that film, which you're never going to find on CNN or BBC or anywhere else, because Turkey made a decision that they were going to, you know, provide that to this project.
And certainly that scene where you have the transcript of what happened in the embassy, that I think is the scene that probably everybody who sees the film will remember, because it is just so chilling, seeing the words but not having the audio? Did you actually deliberately decide not to have audio? I assume you were offered it.
Yeah, look, we in the end, as you know, we were, you know, a year into this, the Turks did offer the audio, and I made a decision, which I'm happy that I did. I said, this is taking the film to a different place, a place that I don't need it to go. And so instead, you know, we had that full transcript, which was exclusive to us. And I said, well, let's use this transcript and craft a Hitchcockian, you know, world of this through sound and music and motion graphics and light, and kind of the feeling of noise and being trapped, and then use these interviews to set the table, because there was zero doubt as to what happened. But to then hear him actually being murdered, I said, I wouldn't want to do that to Hatija. I don't want to do that to Omar. I don't want to do that to his friends or to his family. The case, in my mind, is an open and shut matter. So that extra audio would really be just for the purposes of shock and awe, but it didn't feel authentic or needed for the film, and so I chose not to do it.
Bryan, I wish we had more time to talk, because it's such an extraordinary story and such an important film. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, well, thank you, Frida. And yeah, nice talking to you.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.